Okay, and we are live. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Stuart here from Spain Speaks, coming to you from an absolutely scorching hot outskirts of Madrid today. 42 degrees Celsius, I think we hit on July the 18th, 2023, 7:35 p.m. We're going to have a look at some of the main stories that have caught my attention today in the press. We'll go into the comment section, check out some comments that have been left on videos recently. We'll go into the chat section too, check out what's happening there, check out what debate is taking place today in that chat section. So stay tuned for that. In the second half of the video, around the 18-minute mark, we'll go into the chat section once we get the news out of the way. So let's get straight into that. The news today, and Vox leader Santiago, Abascal, is predicting tension will return to Catalonia if there is a PP-Vox coalition government. Vox leader Santiago Abascal has tried to set the political line on Catalonia this Tuesday to the president of the PP, Alberto Núñez Feijóo, in the event that both parties form a coalition government after Sunday's elections. The advantage of a government with Vox in it is that it will not be the same as with a government with an absolute majority of the PP like Mr. Rajoy's. We are not going to have those hesitations, he said at a breakfast briefing organised by Europa Press. Asked whether he believes that tensions would return to Catalonia if the PP and Vox govern in Moncloa, Abascal replied, "I have no doubt." And he also went on to say that he's predicting times worse than in 2017. So if any Catalonian viewers are watching and Mr. Abascal's words come true, oh, watch out, that street violence will return, according to Mr. Abascal. And Vox's electoral program, the first thing that they have at the top of that program is that they're going to remove the autonomous community of Catalonia. It will be controlled by Madrid. Of course, if they get into government by themselves, that won't happen if the PP governs, I don't think. And they will also remove the autonomous community system that we have here in Spain. So no doubt people will take to the streets in Catalonia if that happens. But as I said, in a coalition government, I don't think so. But we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. Just around the corner, of course. Sunday is the day. The second piece of news today is that the Spanish postal service Correos has confirmed delivery of 98.2% of ballots and denies allegations of mismanagement. Correos has confirmed this Monday that 98.2% of the votes requested through this company have already been delivered. This figure represents a total of 2,575,597 million votes, of which 2,124,990 have been hand-delivered directly to the voter. 450,607 are available at Correos offices. With these numbers, Correos wants to demonstrate its commitment to Spanish society. In addition, it is trying to dispel the insinuations that have been made about its work capacity as a result of the interventions of politicians, referring to the work and effort of its more than 45,000 employees. The company also wanted to point out that these employees will be working until the 23rd of July, the day of the general elections, with the same professionalism with which they have been doing their work these past weeks. So Correos in the spotlight at the moment. Some politicians, mainly Mr. Feijóo, from what I've seen, saying that they're not up to the game when it comes to getting these postal votes out to people. They're not efficient enough. Maybe he's talking about past experiences that he has had with Correos. But Correos on the front foot, coming out and saying that, yes, they are ready for this. They can handle the demand. And they will get, as we see here already, apparently 98.2% of ballots to people that want to vote by post come Sunday. And the other 2%, not sure, but we'll see what happens. But as I said, Mr. Feijóo accusing the Correos organisation of mismanagement. And it is a fairly big task, and I saw something on Sunday that I haven't seen here ever, and that was a postal service worker working on Sunday. So they're out and about trying to keep up with the demand. Third piece of news here, controversy at the Women's World Cup over Spain's Haka, that has upset New Zealand. The haka is a Maori dance that is often used in sporting confrontations or wars, although it is also used to honour guests and show importance at gatherings such as weddings or funerals. In one of the first training sessions of the Spanish national team upon their arrival in Auckland, 4 players, Misa Rodriguez, Jenny Hermoso, Salma Parajuelo, and Laia Corina, were seen emulating a haka. The image, released by the RFEF through a video, which is the Spanish Football Federation, went viral on social media and soon echoed throughout New Zealand, where they understood that it was a mockery of an important aspect of their culture and criticised it as such. The RFEF removed the video shortly after, but the images were already hosted by local and international media. Obviously, there was no intent of mockery on the part of the players, but the act and its echo reached the highest echelon of international soccer. And, these football players, or the Spanish Football Association, received a call, I think, from FIFA saying that, this type of thing in 2023 is not okay. But the Spanish players, as we saw there, were ignorant to the cultural sensitivities of the New Zealanders by doing that haka. We've seen other people get in hot water in recent times also, people that have posted videos on social media doing this type of thing and getting absolutely very severely criticised for doing these things. So the world has changed, and you can't be doing these things anymore because, as we saw there, some people get upset. So ignorance is what the Spanish Football Association is screaming here. They didn't know, but they have found out the hard way that perhaps you don't do these things anymore. So as I said, a lot of people here completely ignorant to the sensitivities, if that word exists, of some people around the world who find their traditions or their traditions are very important to them, and they don't like people apparently mocking them. And the final piece of news here, the butane cylinder has fallen by 5% to €15.18, its lowest price in a year. The maximum retail price of a cylinder of butane fell by 4.89% on Tuesday to €15.18, making it the lowest price in the last year, according to the resolution published in the official State Gazette. This reduction is mainly due to the sharp fall in the price of raw materials, 25% down, and to a lesser extent to the appreciation of the euro against the dollar, 0.2%. The reduction offsets the increase in the cost of marketing that applies between this update and the 15th of July 2024, 53.3 cents per kilogram, 4.8% higher than in the previous period. Now, every now and again I put the price of butane gas up. A lot of people relying on butane to cook their food this time of the year in some parts of the country, especially people that live in cities or towns where there's no natural gas supply. And €15.18 are quite cheap for that 12.5, 13 kilogram bottle of butane gas. So take advantage. And I don't know if it's going to go down anymore, but the cheapest price in a year for that product. Now, into the comment section now. First one here from Kelly Mack. Always nice to follow your show. Hola de la Rapita, San Carlos. I especially enjoyed the recent wine in Mercadona banter. Yeah, I think we had this chat maybe Sunday, maybe yesterday. Can't remember exactly when. I think Peter pointed out that there was some English clientele in Mercadona looking at the wines, frowning upon the wines, maybe a little bit too cheap for us, because remember, Mercadona is a place where you can't buy a bottle of wine over the price of €10. I think 9 is the maximum for a bottle of wine there. Maybe 1 would exceed that price, but the majority between 2 and €10. And a lot of people say, well, they can't be any good if they're so cheap. Well, they're not bad. You can drink them. Maybe you don't want to, you wouldn't have it at your best dinner party. But for everyday drinking with, as people do here, which is why wine tends to be cheap, because people put a bottle on the table every day for lunch or, at the weekend. And that's why wine is cheap. And Mercadona's worked the formula out. Don't have a lot of stock, don't have a lot of variety in your products, and people won't be confused and they'll buy more, because if there's only 6 bottles of wine, easy. And that's the secret of Mercadona's success, in my opinion. Another one here from Pete. I biked around Gijón in June and have visited Elche a good few times. Please don't remove the bike lanes just to annoy your fellow Spaniards. We saw this yesterday in the city of Valladolid, the new coalition government there between the Partido Popular and the Vox Party have said that they're going to remove some of the bike lanes that were established through the previous government or with the previous government there, making Valladolid a more bike-friendly city. And, of course, Vox thinking that maybe the car is still king, so let's promote vehicle use in a city like Zaragoza in Valladolid. We'll also reduce the size of the low emission zone also, and basically wind the clock back. We don't want any of these bike lanes. We don't want these pesky cyclists bothering us in our cars. So that's what they've done there. And other cities as well. I think Gijón and Elche were also mentioned. So changes are coming as far as bike lanes are concerned, just because of the new government that is in power in that city, in the local council. And as I said yesterday, the people of that city, the Vallesoletanos, I think they're called, or I think that's what they're called, don't quote me on that, voted for that party, so, or for that coalition government. So they knew what they were getting. Another one here from Victoria. Stu, seems that you are no supporter of Pedro Sánchez. Just wonder what a state Spain will be in if he does not get in again. It'll be a backward step to a dictatorship, so I urge you to be careful what comments you put out to your followers for the sake of sanity and in the interest of all decent, ordinary people. You wield a lot of influence. I hope and pray he stays in power. The alternative is frightening for Spain and the rest of Europe. We are all connected. Enjoy your channel, just saying. Now, firstly, Victoria, I don't wield a lot of influence. I refute that claim. Maybe I've got a few subscribers on this channel, but they're not people that are going to be voting in the elections on Sunday, so I don't influence anybody there. I think Spanish people are mature enough to make their own decisions when it comes to who they're going to vote for. Whether they vote for a PP-Vox coalition, I've got no idea. But the polls are suggesting this. And as I said, people are mature enough to vote for whomever they want. Whether it's the left, your side of politics, whether it's the right, the side of politics that other people are on. Now, I had somebody yesterday say that I'm putting down the Socialist Party, that I should be defending that party, I shouldn't be talking about this, I shouldn't be doing that. And that's one thing that really gets my goat, when people force their politics down your throat. They said, what did you say in that video yesterday? You're contradicting yourself. Absolute rubbish. I went back and watched the video. I know exactly what I said. And if you can't understand what I say, not this person here, but another person, they'll know who I'm speaking about, who said, well, I'm going to leave the channel. I'm not going to watch your videos anymore if you don't stop talking about this. Hasta luego, Lucas. Hasta luego, Lucas. Because what I don't like is people forcing their political opinions down other people's throats, which all too commonly happens nowadays. I try to sit on the fence. I've said it 100 times. In fact, somebody replied to that video saying that I thought Stu was a left-wing voter. And there's somebody calling me a right-wing voter. Ni idea. Ni idea. ¿Entiendes? That's all I'm going to say. Another one here from user. Hi Stu, British tourists love Spain because of the hot weather. It would take a huge increase in temperature to make them think of looking elsewhere. Maybe that is the truth behind that. We saw yesterday that some people are saying that parts of Spain are going to become a virtual oven, too hot, 45-degree temperatures in the hot summer months, heat wave after heat wave. But this person here, sorry that I don't know your name, saying that it won't happen because people in the UK love hot weather. So people will always flock to southern European countries. And with cheap airfares, I imagine that if airfares continue to be cheap to these destinations, then people will indeed come here looking for a hot summer holiday. Maybe they won't be going to Seville, maybe they won't be going to Córdoba, maybe they won't be going to the other frying pans or ovens here in Spain in the hot summer months. They'll probably choose somewhere a bit cooler, maybe on the coast, but I agree that people will continue to flock to Spain. We saw that one. This one here from, we saw that one also. Let me try and find the next one. This one here from Ed, an obvious tourist. I got offered a chance to buy some cocaine in downtown Lisbon in April in the Baixa, close to the Rocio station. Bad sign. Yeah, we also saw this yesterday. I think somebody mentioned that cocaine use is one of the big issues that we have nowadays with people socializing, a mix of alcohol and drugs. And Ed pointing out there that in downtown Lisbon offered a bit of cocaine. I'm not sure exactly how they do it, whether they just come up and offer it to you in the street or whether they're a little bit more discreet. No idea, because it hasn't happened to me. But I've heard that it happened with hashish, but never with cocaine. So obviously they're stepping up a gear. But what I did mention yesterday is that the price of cocaine, according to a police officer student that I have, has not changed in 10 years. So it's a very affordable drug. Well, if you take into account that inflation hasn't really affected the price, so still affordable, becoming cheaper even for some people. And that is why when people are here on holidays, partying, that alcohol-drug mix can be a bad combination for some people. And we've seen that in recent times with a couple of nasty events that have taken place in the Balearic Islands. So drugs and alcohol, a problem, but as Ed points out here, pretty easy to get. And the final comment here from Gary. Hi, Stu. I'm travelling to Alicante in September and have a 5-hour layover in Madrid. Any places nearby I could go to, even a large shopping mall, to kill a few hours? I only catch your videos when I get home from work, and they're also informative and funny. Keep up the great work. Thanks. Gary from New York. Well, Gary, you're in luck, because the Madrid airport, Barajas, I'm not sure whether you're going to fly into Terminal 4 or one of the other 3 terminals. If you fly into Terminals 1, 2 or 3, one of them's a domestic, so you won't fly there, but one of those 3, I'm sure, you will have a very quick train trip into the centre of Madrid. I think it's only 15 minutes. So you could quite easily plan a trip into the centre of Madrid, maybe go to where the train stops at, Nuevos Ministerios. You've got a big shopping centre very close by, El Corte Inglés. You could whip in there. Other shops on the high street there called Orense Street. You've got the Real Madrid football stadium a kilometre up the road, so you could easily visit that as well. So that would be my suggestion, Gary. Hop on the metro, get yourself a ticket, head into the centre of Madrid, Nuevos Ministerios, which is the final stop of that train line from Barajas, and plenty of things to see in that area if you've got a few hours to kill. So that would be my advice. But if anybody has other advice for Gary, please let him know. I wouldn't move too far away from that area, because you want to get back to the airport fairly quickly. And again, you'll be back in 15, 20 minutes. Get to your terminal, get to your gate, and away you go. Heading to, where was it? Alicante, was it? Yeah, so that would be my advice, Gary. A few hours in Madrid, plenty of things to see and do. Maybe get a bite to eat at one of the fantastic establishments also in that area. All right, now we're up to 51 likes, so I'm going to put the like icon on the screen. If you haven't hit it yet, please do so, just below the video. We're going to change the backdrop too. This one was sent in today, actually. I received this one, and the reason I'm putting it up so quickly is because it's another cooling coastal shot that we can see here, and I think it's Cádiz down there in the south of Spain, the Atlantic Ocean, I believe. Nice breeze blowing, no doubt, and just seeing this cools me down from the hot 38 degree plus temperatures that we still have in Madrid currently. So it's cooling me down. That's why I'm going for coastal shots in recent times, or shots that involve water. If you've got a similar shot that you would like to send through, this is the this is the email here. Send your photos through to this address here, spainspeaks@gmail.com. And as I said, also hit the like button. And if you've got anything else that you would like to send me, a few people have sent me in recent times articles about real estate prices and things like that. Americans flocking to Spain. An interesting article, I think, in one of the US publications. Some of the reasons for that and where Americans are going here in Spain. Interesting where they're going, that's also true. not to some of the typical foreign resident areas. That's what I'll say. They're what's the word? They're not looking for that coastal life, I don't think, a lot of the times. They're moving inland, a lot of the Americans, which is interesting. Now into the chat section I go. Let's have a look here. Plenty of activity already. I'll scroll up to the top. Barbara, the first one that I can see, the first person that I can see in the chat here, coming in from the Playa Flamenca, where it's hot and humid with temperatures rising for the next few days. Thank you very much for that, Barbara. Yeah, temperatures rising, unfortunately. Unfortunately. I don't think they can rise much more here, but we'll see. Alma coming in also. Hola, everyone. Hello, Alma. Mugga also coming in. Mugga sent me through telling us that the beaches in El Campello are back operational again. The green flag has been hoisted or raised in that part of Spain, and the lifeguards have cancelled their strike and are back on the beaches. So thanks, Mugga, for that. Andrew coming in from southeast London, currently very pleasant there. Thank you very much, Andrew, for that. Pauline also coming in from a hot Rojales and humid, enjoying a glass of the Governor. There we go, one of those budget wines that you'll find in Mercadona for $2.75, I think. Well, at least that's what you pay in Madrid. Maybe more in some other Mercadona supermarkets, but $2.75, the average price, I think. Hild coming in from, I think, Benissa. We are glad that it has not been warmer than 31.5 with some wind. Fantastic, Hild, staying cool down there in Benissa. Tony coming in from a warm Ashford in the UK, I believe. What else we got going on here? Amanda's in the chat section as well, saying hello to other people there. Hello, Amanda. Alan coming in from Ocean Isle Beach in North Carolina, I reckon that is. James must be in the chat as well, the author of the photo behind me. Hopefully visiting El Puerto, possibly, if in Cádiz. Absolutely. 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 A lot of chat going on about problems in the UK, so I'll avoid that. Gino's coming in as well. From Canada. Hello, Gina. Hope you are well. Heading back to Spain soon, I imagine. Let me know. Janet coming in from Oxford. Not scorching there. Didn't think it would be scorching. Janet, if you want scorching weather, just come over here for a while. Richard coming in from a cool and wet North Yorkshire. Don't know what's happened to summer over here. Hope everyone is well. Well, summer's probably gone where it goes every year. Richard, unfortunately, in that part of the United Kingdom up north there. Yeah, a bit fickle, I would say, probably the summers, I would say. Sunny coming in from Basingstoke, also in England. Looking forward to seeing son and grandson over from Valencia this evening. There we go, heading back from a hot Valencia to a cooler UK, no doubt. James, here we go, the author of the photo. James and Kathy, rainy Worcester. After a hot 5 weeks in Spain, spent time in the Costa Blanca, Jaén, Cádiz, and Plasencia en route home. Cádiz was gorgeous, and there's the photo evidence from James there. Thank you very much, James, for sending that one through. Let's have a look. What else we got going on here? Tony coming in. I saw that before from a warm Ashford in the UK. Thanks, Tony. Alma, Benihofar. 31 degrees there, so not bad. I'd take 31, Alma. And Hill also talked about that cooler temperature. Absolutely, I would take it right now. If you want to swap, let me know. Alan converted the gas supply from bottled to direct natural gas. So much easier. Yeah, it is easier, Alan, of course, but you've got to pay a monthly fee, don't you, to have the natural gas connected, and doesn't matter whether you're there or not. You're getting a bill every month with your fee, whereas if you've got a bottle, it is a bit more of an inconvenience, of course, but it's just a single payment and away you go. You don't have to worry about those monthly fees to the gas companies, which love that. The gas companies love that. James tried the Governor. Wasn't impressed. James and Kathy weren't impressed. but too sweet. Better in a casserole. There we go. Cooking wine, according to James. Well, it is sweet. Yeah, it's a very young wine, I think, and obviously for the price, we're not expecting, a good wine for that price, but everybody has different tastes, of course, and cooking wine for some is drinking wine for others, of course. 62 for a 15 kg bombona. Yeah, so £62 for that, and probably for the same bottle here, you'd pay, 20 if it's a 15k? So a bit more expensive, Andrew, for that gas there. Steve, after a couple of glasses, the Spanish wine is just about okay. Yeah, after a couple of glasses. The next day could be an issue with one of those sweet wines, of course. The Conquistadors coming in from Florida, 34 degrees in America's oldest city, founded by Pedro Menendez de Avilés. There we go. The oldest city in the States, San Agustin. Jeff was also out in Cádiz this way last week. Really like the Cádiz area too. The breeze helped with the warm weather. That's right. You get that cool sea breeze coming in off the Atlantic there into Cádiz. The smells of the ocean. Having a cool beer, maybe some fried fish. Wow. What else? Let's have a look. I'll get through this chat. Steve agreeing. Too right about people shoving theory politics down others' throats. The individual opinions are their own. We never spoke about politics in the pubs in the UK for exactly this reason. It's always been my philosophy, Steve. I mean, I'm just reporting the news. Sometimes I give a little bit of a side opinion, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I would vote for that party if I could. I've said it on numerous occasions, my opinions about certain political parties. I've spoken about corruption as well. I said yesterday that corruption here in Spain has been equally shared between the two major parties. Doesn't matter whether you're on the left or the right, but people are so sensitive to hearing anything nowadays. I call it football team politics. You vote for, you follow a political party like you follow a football team. You can't change. Doesn't matter what people do, whether it's the worst politician in history, whether they've just shoved lies down your throat for the last 4 years. You're still going to vote for that party, or you're going to have a look around. You're going to have a look around. Maybe the other party's got a better idea. You can change. You don't have to be stuck in your boots. You don't have to be, if you're a Chelsea supporter and you follow Chelsea fanatically, why does that have to carry over into politics? Why does it have to be so black and white? Just don't understand it. Unbelievable. But that's just my opinion, of course. What else we got going on here? Fluttergirl says, I seem neutral and objective. A few viewers may be projecting their feelings onto him. Absolutely, that's what they're doing. Absolutely. Trying to convince me that there's only one side to vote for. There's a lake, go and jump in it. Or the ocean. But again, you can do whatever you want, but just don't force it down my throat. What else we got going on? Let's have a look here quickly. Kevin in the chat section as well. People make me laugh if they go on holiday and it rains, they moan, and when it's hot, they moan. I'm almost 79 and my wife, Maureen, love this country and accept the weather. Absolutely, Kevin, yeah. Some people complain, of course. I mean, people are natural whingers, myself included sometimes. You wake up get out on the wrong side of the bed and, you have a bad day, you complain. When it rains too much, you complain. That's human nature. It's what we do. We're complainers. We're moaners. That's what we do. Mick, also here, warm on the Costa Blanca. Yeah, I imagine that it is, but I think we saw some parts of that Valencian community, 31. I'd take it. Because the wind here today, it was like getting a hairdryer and just blowing it on the maximum setting in your face. Unbelievable. Steve saying that, replying to Gary, there's the old town of Madrid and there's a great market. You can eat lots of tapas and wine. The problem is that I wouldn't get too far away from the train station that will take you back to the airport. You don't want to get into a time issue and maybe, there's a problem on the metro system or there's a problem on the bus system. you got to take these things into consideration. So in that area around Nuevos Ministerios, there's plenty of things to see. There's shopping areas, there's shopping centres, football stadium. If you want to go and look at the trophies that Real Madrid have racked up over the years, go and check it out. You can go up to Plaza Castilla, which is not far away as well. But going into the old part of the city, you'd have to have it well planned. Well, Madrid's a pretty big city as well. That's also the issue. What else? Let's have a look. Oh, the view is from the Parador in Cádiz. We didn't want to leave our balcony. Thanks, James, for that. Yeah, I can imagine why you didn't want to leave the balcony with that view. Exactly. What's the article about Americans moving to Spain? I'm curious. Can't remember exactly, Jeff, but I'll see if I can find it here quickly. The article, let me see. There was one sent through to, let's see if I can find it here. Ernie sent me through it today. And it's from cnbc.com. And it's called, the title of the article is More Americans Moving to Spain and Paying High Prices for Real Estate. That's the name of the article. More Americans are moving to Spain and paying high prices for real estate. cnbc.com. So put that in Google, check it out, and it's a free article, which is also positive. There's no paywall. Mug is saying that I mentioned last year that I might get an air conditioning. Any chance I've made up my mind? Yeah, I'm keeping away from air conditioning as long as I can. I've never had air conditioning. If I want air conditioning, I go to a shopping centre and stay cool. But here, where we are, as I said, it's hot outside, but inside you can notice the difference. So it's bearable still. Last year was a freak year for nighttime temperatures. We haven't had a repeat of that this year yet. I'm not saying that we won't get a repeat of that, but at the moment it seems to be going up and down the temperature. So it goes up, hits 40, comes back down to 31, 32, whereas last year it stayed up in those high 30s, early 40s, and high nighttime temperatures for at least 10 days. And that was the killer. That's what made me talk about air conditioning. But this year, okay. John also here. Hope we are well. Was at Barcelona airport last week. Bought a small bottle of Evian water. Cost $4.25. Disgusting. Shouldn't be allowed. Yeah, airport prices. John, I bought a sandwich and a bottle of water in Vigo at the airport. And I think I paid €11 for a sandwich and a bottle of water. It wasn't a small bottle. It was 750 mils. So it was a decent-sized bottle of water, but still it was over €5, I think. So airport prices, they've got an advantage, aren't they? You can't take water through the passport control, but you can buy it when you get through and take it onto the plane, and that's what people do. So a normal bottle of water that would cost you 60 cents in the street, outside the airport, once you get through that passport control, €4.50 or $4.25 in your case. It is disgusting. But that's the airport mafia. That's the business. Anthony coming in from Melbourne. Are the property prices in Galicia reasonable? Depends, Anthony. If you go inland, yes, they are reasonable. Go to some of the places where people are leaving and you will find bargains. Orense, Lugo, places like that. However, if you want to go to the coast, to a big city like Vigo, Coruña, you won't find cheap prices, I don't think. But it all depends what your budget is. But reasonable, I would say, compared to some other parts of the country. Absolutely. Iggy coming in from a hot Jaén. It was cool there the other day, 39, so it must be over 40 if Iggy is telling us it's relatively hot. Renan coming in from LA. Thanks, Renan, for your visit today. Bronny in Swansea, Wales, South Wales, loves the photo. Yeah, absolutely. James has sent through a few photos from balconies of paradors that they have stayed in. I think one was sent in from the Picos de Europa, I think. Janet, Janet will do without the scorching Seville weather, getting the family to come back to the UK instead. Daughter loves a bit of rain in the UK, not too much. Yeah, a bit of rain every now and again, those milder temperatures, Janet, right? Rather than the oven that is Seville. Ian's sick of hearing about the governor. There are so many others to choose from. I'm guessing it's mainly drunk by expats. Probably. Don't know. I think it's been a wine that's been deliberately targeted at the foreign resident Ian. I've seen it. I haven't tried it. Can't comment. Some people like it. Some people don't. We saw somebody's comment before saying that it's would be okay in a coq au vin or one of those red wine dishes, but maybe not on the dinner table to drink. Patrick, gas bottle 16 in Caspe, Aragon. Yeah, that's around the price, I think, Patrick. English weather is changing. Kids finish school on Friday. Yeah, there we go. So I imagine lots of people will head south for those school holidays, which begin on Friday. Yeah, here school's already been out for 3 weeks. James supporting me with my opinions as well. Yeah, went on a bit of a rant there. I think George has mixed me up with somebody else. Steve. Stuart is my name, George, but thanks for that. Robin also coming in from southern Scotland. A bit wet there, 15 degrees. Yeah, one of my friends, a guy that I knew many years ago when I lived in London, is back visiting his family in Scotland, a place called Burnt Island. I think it's near Edinburgh. And picture on Facebook the other day with umbrellas up on the beach. So obviously wet. But it is Scotland. Let's have a look. A few of my family members, says Iggy, that have now passed on, always voted for the PSOE. Blindly voting one way is something I disagree with, but I understand my family as they were incarcerated, beaten by the right. Yeah, I can understand that, Iggy, that you get people that are, reluctant to vote for what they consider to be the enemy during those difficult political times. And the PSOE party in 1982 and one of the first, I think it was the first main democratic elections, absolutely smashed it. I mean, I saw a map of Spain with the voting intentions of that 1982 election, and the country was basically all red. Whereas today, it's a lot bluer than it was back then. But people have changed, and as I said, I think Spain is a mature country where people can take conscious decisions when they vote. That's just my opinion from the people that I've spoken to. Marianne saying that regarding the heat, apparently the average global temperature is higher than it's ever been. Yeah, that's what I'm reading. That's what they're saying. Absolutely. We have dead Democrat voters in the US too. There we go. Dead Democrat voters, whatever that means, no idea. Hi from Erica from Terrassa. Hope everyone is fine. Hello, Erica. Hope you are well too. Almost at the end of the chat. Kevin saying, my hair looks good. Why do I need a conditioner? Bit of a joke there from Kevin, I think. Yeah, I got a haircut yesterday, so it's looking trim at least on the sides. But you're right, don't need a conditioner. I need an air conditioner. Maya coming in as well, saying hi to my favourite Giddy from Morcín in Asturias. Thanks for telling the news in my country in so lovely and calm way. Thank you very much, Maya. Unfortunately, not everybody would agree. Manolo coming in from Mallorca today, working with air conditioning. I reckon it's hot in Mallorca. I think I saw somewhere in the press that said the Balearics in general very, very hot. And Julian, last week in the south of France, Nice, touring the south coast. So hot this week back in cold, wet England. If only we could share the warm weather, spread it out. Yeah, wouldn't that be fantastic, Julian, if we could spread the warm weather out, give a little bit to everyone, and then when we need some rain, you could send some over, send you a bit of warmth. Wouldn't that be fantastic? And Bronny says, love the hair. Thank you very much, Bronny, for that. My €10.50 haircut. Hairdresser put the prices up yesterday. Was €10. Now it's €10.50. That's inflation for you. Michael saying that it's harder to move to Spain since Brexit because me and my wife are fed up with the UK. Thanks, Mick and Anne. It is more difficult, Mick. That is true. There's no more freedom of movement. I think you can still buy property down here should you wish. But of course, when it comes to retiring, what a lot of people used to do is that they would come down to Spain and get their pension, live reasonably well. But of course, the cost of living's gone up. Pensions don't go as far as they used to do. And the 90-day rule, which is also an aspect for a lot of people. A lot of people used to take advantage of the system, come down for 6 months, go back for 6 months, just before they had to pay tax and things like that. No longer possible. So it has made it harder. But again, it was a decision that some people agreed with, some people don't. No point going on about it. Move on and just do what you can do. It's still possible to come to live in countries like Spain. Americans are doing it. As we saw, they're not in the European Union, up 13%, according to the article that I read. So it's still possible. You just have to have a will. Because as we know, where there's a will, there's a way. And Stevo heading to Valencia in mid-August. Hope it cools down by then. Mid-August, Stevo, not sure what the temperature would be like then. I know it starts to cool down here in Madrid, but not sure if the coastal areas start to cool down or not. But hopefully it will be okay. So I'm at the end of the chat section. I'm going to wrap it up. Oh, Jose Antonio's here as well. So I'll just say hello to Jose Antonio. It is bliss, not blizz. Right, my daily dose of English. Not sure what you mean by that, Jose Antonio, but thanks for the comment or the chat anyway. Now I'm going to wrap it up. I'll see you guys again in another live stream. Not sure when, but I'll put one out in the near future. Stay tuned. Hopefully, if you have notifications turned on, you'll get a little bell sound when I set up the live stream. I haven't set it up yet, but because I don't know when I'm going to be able to do it. But stay tuned for more content over the next few days. Have a great rest of the day. If you're in Spain, stay cool. And if you're anywhere else in the world, I hope the weather is okay for you. Hasta luego, hasta entonces. Adiós.